Okay, let's unpack this. We are diving into a topic of immediate, unexpected pressure surrounding the Los Angeles Lakers.
Right.
They had a remarkably successful offseason, securing key talent, depth.
Was really good on paper.
Totally. Yet the preseason has delivered a bit of a shock. 2 quick losses right out of the gate.
Yeah.
And that immediately turns all that anticipation into, well, apprehension.
It's the classic Lakers paradox, isn't it?
Yeah.
A rough start, even in games that don't technically count, and bam, immediate crisis response. In the media, probably in the front office, too.
That's right.
And that response seems defined by one specific idea. Lakers insider Jovan Buha recently said that despite all those good moves, the Lakers are still one trade away.
And a trade away from what, exactly?
From reaching the NBA's inner circle of contenders. That's his term.
Okay, the inner circle.
Yeah, and he specifically names teams like, OKC and Denver.
Wow, okay. So the reigning champs and the team everyone thinks is next up, that's a high bar.
It absolutely is, and that's the mission. Get into that group.
And the pressure to act on this idea, now it's being cranked up by a couple of huge, really time-sensitive factors, right?
Exactly. First one is strategic, more long-term. There's this big organizational push tied to securing Luka Doncic's future.
Right, the long game.
Yeah, meaning the team has to show, right now, that they can compete at the absolute highest level, sustainably. It's not just about this year, it's about the next 5.
Okay, makes sense. But the immediate shockwave, the thing that's really put this trade talk into overdrive, is the LeBron James news.
The injury update.
Yeah, reportedly sidelined for up to 4 weeks. You can't wait a month to fill a hole like that in your starting lineup, not if you have title hopes.
No way. I mean, that injury doesn't just cut their firepower. It takes out their main creator, their defensive anchor for those first crucial weeks.
Right.
So that urgency, it forces the front office to find someone who can step in and start immediately. Buha's first thoughts were Andrew Wiggins or Dillon Brooks.
Okay, interesting names.
But apparently the Lakers already missed out on getting Wiggins from Miami in some other deal.
Okay. So Wiggins is off the table.
Seems like it. Which means the focus has completely pivoted to, well, maybe the most controversial name on that list.
And that name is Dillon Brooks, currently with the Phoenix Suns.
That's the one.
The need is urgent, clearly.
Right.
And we actually have a very specific, detailed proposed trade idea for how they might get him.
Yeah, let's lay out the mechanics here because the assets involved are key. So the proposal is Los Angeles Lakers receive Dillon Brooks.
Okay.
In exchange, the Phoenix Suns receive Jared Vanderbilt, Dalton Knecht, and a 2032 second-round pick.
Okay, so 2 players and a future second-rounder, which is pretty far out there.
Yeah, basically a throw-in.
Right. So before we get into why LA might make what feels like a slightly desperate move, we need to understand the Phoenix side. Why would the Suns, who are supposedly building around Devin Booker's prime, why trade a solid rotation guy like Brooks? It seems a bit strange.
Well, the source material suggests the Suns are effectively entering a rebuild structured around Booker. Now, I find that term rebuild maybe a little simplistic here.
Okay, how so?
It's not like they're tearing it down completely. It's more like reorganizing their assets.
Yes.
Brooks came over in that big Kevin Durant trade from Houston, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the analysis suggests he might just be a poor long-term fit there structurally, especially with his contract. So if they can swap him for pieces with maybe higher upside, developmentally speaking, that's a strategic win for them.
Okay, so less of a rebuild, more of a retooling around Booker. And the main piece they get back is Jared Vanderbilt.
Yep, Vanderbilt.
Who everyone knows is a reliable defensive presence, hustle guy. He could definitely help fill out their bench, especially if they, say, move Royce O'Neal into Brooks' starting spot.
Vanderbilt's value is definitely on the defensive end, no question. But we have to be honest about the risk profile here.
The injuries.
Exactly. He only played, 36 games last season? Recurring issues. And his stats showed it averaging just 4.1 points, 5.1 rebounds. Well, that's a significant question mark the Suns would be taking on.
That's true. It's a gamble. But here's the interesting part, the upside for Phoenix. The same reports mention Vanderbilt has really impressed the coaching staff this offseason.
Oh, really?
Yeah, earned plaudits at training camp, apparently. So the Suns are trading a healthy, known quantity in Brooks for someone who might have a high ceiling defensively, but is definitely coming off an injury-plagued year. Shows how much they might value that potential, maybe.
Or how much they want to move off Brooks' contract, perhaps.
Yeah.
And they add to that bet with Dalton Knecht.
Right, the rookie, who's apparently been on the trade block basically all summer.
Yeah, he's seen as a solid developmental piece for Phoenix, kind of like a lottery ticket that LA just doesn't have the time or maybe the roster space to cash in right now.
Next big strength is supposed to be his perimeter shooting. He's seen as a versatile scorer, put up decent numbers like 9.1 points last season, shot it okay, 46% overall, almost 38% from three.
Solid numbers for limited minutes.
Yeah, but the challenge for him in LA would be finding playing time, right? With guys like Grayson Allen ahead of him. It's tough, but for the Suns, they can probably afford to be patient, develop him into that shooter role over a year or two.
So for Phoenix, it's basically an asset swap. They turn a, let's say, higher cost, potentially less ideal fit in Brooks into a package of developmental talent and some high-risk, high-reward defense in Vanderbilt.
Okay, that makes sense from their perspective. Now let's flip it. The Lakers. Why did they buy Dillon Brooks, and why is this package the one they'd give up?
The main goal is pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Fortify their starting lineup immediately. This isn't about adding depth.
No, this is about plugging that hole left by LeBron for the next month.
Exactly. They need a functional starter now, probably sliding in over Rui Hachimura just to stay afloat and keep pace in the West.
And Brooks fits that specific need.
Yeah.
Why? What's his profile? Make him the guy.
Because he's known as that pesky defender with a reliable shot from the outside. He can guard multiple positions. He's proven he can start and contribute. That's exactly what a team missing LeBron needs to survive those first few weeks.
And the shooting is key. His stats back that up. Last season, Brooks averaged 14 points, almost 4 rebounds.
And the big one.
Yeah, shot almost 40% from three, 39.7%. That's legitimate efficiency on decent volume. Makes him a real floor spacer.
And that combination, the defense plus that near 40-stat three-point shooting, that's why he likely gets the starting nod. You know, Hachimura might actually be more efficient statistically in certain spots, but Brooks is that perfect ready-made 3-and-D guy they need to just stabilize the starting five right away.
Right.
His skill set, on paper, fits perfectly next to high-usage stars.
Okay, but here's where it gets really, really interesting. And maybe risky, like extremely risky.
Uh-oh.
We absolutely have to talk about the elephant in the room. The history, the charged history and potential personality clashes between Dillon Brooks and LeBron James.
Yeah, it's not exactly a secret.
This isn't just some minor locker room thing. This was public. Pretty venomous rivalry stuff. How does that even work?
That dynamic is, without a doubt, the defining risk of this whole trade idea. You're swapping out Vanderbilt, who's known as a quiet, professional, fits-in-anywhere kind of guy.
Right. Low maintenance.
For someone who can be volatile, even if he's incredibly talented defensively.
Right.
But if we connect this back to the bigger picture, the analysis does offer some, let's say, mitigating factors, reasons why it might work.
Okay, I'm listening. Because honestly, from the outside, it looks like a potential chemistry disaster just waiting to happen. Especially if Brooks, if the old antics resurface.
Well, first, there's the pure basketball fit. The analysis really emphasizes that Brooks' playing style is seen as a perfect match not just with LeBron, but maybe even more importantly, with Luka Doncic, their star of the future.
How so?
His ability to hit open threes when they drive and kick, and his ability to take on the toughest perimeter defensive assignment.
Yeah.
That just makes life easier for both creators. Takes pressure off them.
Okay, the on-court fit is strong. What else?
Second, and this might be the crucial one, the Lakers star, LeBron specifically, has embraced such personalities in the past. That's a direct quote from the analysis.
That is a huge point. LeBron's track record shows he prioritizes winning, sometimes over personal feelings. He's played with and won with some strong, let's say, abrasive personalities before if they delivered on the court.
Absolutely. Think about it. The sheer talent level, the functional fit, especially looking ahead to the next few years with Luka, it might just outweigh the personal friction.
So the front office is basically making a calculation.
Seems like it. They're calculating that the tangible upgrade in defense and shooting is worth the headache of navigating the psychological complexities. They seem to believe that the need for that perfect 3-and-D player right now overrides the messy history.
And the clock is just ticking so loudly here. That urgency is amplified because, let's face it, LeBron James is in the final stages of his career.
Yeah, that window isn't getting any wider.
Exactly. It's diminishing every year. And this early season injury just cranks up the pressure to maximize their chances right now. They can't afford a slow start.
The time frame is just relentless. Building chemistry is critical for any team with championship hopes.
Yeah.
And with, what, less than 2 weeks left before the start of the new season?
Yeah, it's tight.
They are genuinely running out of time to finalize a deal like this, one that could actually impact their opening games. They can't really afford to wait until the February trade deadline for a move they might need to survive October and November without LeBron.
Okay. So wrapping this all up, what this deep dive really shows is this core tension, right? The Lakers are under immediate, intense pressure to get this specific upgrade, defense and shooting, embodied by Dillon Brooks. But to get that immediate fix, they have to give up Jared Vanderbilt, a proven defender, yeah, with injury risks, but still high potential, and Dalton Knecht, who's a decent developmental prospect. They're essentially trading future potential and stability for immediate but high-risk functionality.
And that calculation seems purely driven by that shrinking title window with LeBron. They feel they must get that perfect 3-and-D fit now, even if it means bringing in a significant personality risk.
Which leaves us with a final, pretty provocative thought for you, the listener. Given how urgent the Lakers' need is because of that closing window, and given how perfect Brooks seems to fit on the court, does the analysis ultimately suggest that the immediate benefit of grabbing that ideal 3-and-D player, despite all the known personality clashes and the very real risk to locker room harmony, does that benefit irrefutably outweigh the future value of Vanderbilt and Knecht that the Suns would get?
It's a huge bet. They're betting the present against the future, and maybe betting against history itself, hoping talent and fit win out over friction.